at Animal Kingdom today in Disney World, and hopefully this is the last time I will ever have to wear a mask in a theme park. And I might just refuse to go to some out of state if they require it. At this point, as of Tuesday, Florida is no longer going to require masks in the parks. Well, Florida already doesn't. Disney is not going to require masks in their parks as of Tuesday. Right now, if you're not in line and not inside, you're fine. As of Tuesday, even in line, even on the ride, you can finally have fun in the park without a mask. So excited. Welcome to Corbin's Coasters and More. This is In the Loop, my weekly amusement park themed attraction and roller coaster news. And I was saying before the intro, there's more good mask news coming out of Disney. As of tomorrow, mask mandates will no longer be required for vaccinated guests at Disney indoor or outdoor or on a ride, except on Disney transportation. That's at Disney World in Florida. If only it had been a couple of days earlier. As you saw, I was actually in Animal Kingdom on Saturday, where I still had to have the mask on for half the day, unfortunately. But let me tell you, Animal Planet is my favorite Disney park I've ever been to. The safari was really cool. Mount Everest is a solid family coaster. Dinosaur is a cool dark ride. Tree of Life has aged really well. And Flight of Passage is out of this world. Really an experience you have to have. Then on top of that, they have great shows, theming, and overall atmosphere. I highly recommend Animal Kingdom to anybody of any age. Now on to this week's news. Velocicoaster has officially opened as of June 10th. This is one of my favorite coasters I've ever been on, and you can view more about the ride by clicking on the link right here or on the one after the video. I did a whole Velocicoaster week about a month before it opened. Although wait times were ridiculous on actual opening day, I checked often, and wait times generally float from 45 to 75 minutes, still shorter than Hagrid's usually is. In other news, there's still no express line for Hagrid's, which really doesn't make sense 2 years after its opening, and now that it's not the newest ride at Islands of Adventure. But anyway, Velocicoaster is one of the most highly themed coasters anywhere, and even if you are a single rider, be sure to go through the regular line at least once to see the animatronics and pre-shows that you don't get from the shorter line. Also know that Universal has been as busy as I've ever seen. I went a couple of times last week, and even on a Monday, nearly every ride was over an hour wait, and even the food kiosks had 10 to 20 people in line. The line for the Leaky Cauldron and Diagon Alley went all the way through Nocturne Alley and out the other side, and I know from going the next day that once you're inside, it's about 45 minutes. So maybe 3+ hours to wait to be seated for a quick service restaurant. Definitely no more crowd restrictions anywhere in the park. Universal has responded with some temporary food stands in the parks. Hopefully, they'll become more permanent. They also have their Olympic food festival, so they call it, that has 2 Japanese-themed food stands. I'll have a video with that and more coming out either tomorrow or Wednesday. And CityWalk is getting a new restaurant tomorrow. According to Universal, Bend the Bow will combine unique theming with a twist on the traditional quick service restaurant. Pop art representing the creatures of the Chinese zodiac will welcome guests to the venue, where they can grab bao buns like the crab cake bao, with Maryland-style crab cake, shredded lettuce, and mustard aioli, the duck bao with braised duck, kimchi, XO sauce, cilantro, and 5-spice aioli, and more. This is going to open where Fusion Bistro, Sushi, and Sake closed on the 2nd floor of CityWalk. Up north at Six Flags Great Adventure, Jersey Devil Coaster finally officially opened yesterday to very good reviews. Jersey Devil is the first RMC Raptor single rail model that's not a basic clone. This one is much larger and drawn out and is over 130 feet tall, goes 58 miles per hour. The trains are a little longer. I'm sure if it's anything like Wonder Woman, which it is, it will feel much faster than it actually is. This model is great for pacing and whip. Already one of my favorite Six Flags parks, this might make Great Adventure a top 5 coaster lineup in America with Jersey Devil, El Toro, Bizarro, Titan, and Kingda Ka. In other Six Flags news, Six Flags Great America in Illinois has settled a class action lawsuit agreeing to pay $36 million to pass holders and others who visited between October 2013 and December 2018. We could get up to $200 each, but after lawyer fees, I'm sure it will be less. Apparently, they were collecting fingerprints without permission, which is against Illinois privacy laws. I don't know how to collect on this yet, but I will tell you as soon as I know, as it does directly affect me as well. Another new ride is opening on Saturday. FunSpot America in Orlando is opening Skyhawk, a 90-foot swing ride where you can either ride like a normal swing ride or laying down like on a flying coaster. They also just added Johnny Rockets and Sbarro, which they think is exciting news. In more negative light, though, FunSpot is also facing a $5,000 federal fine for an electrical safety issue on the bumper cars. Multiple electric safety issues. If you didn't know, FunSpot is an amusement park near Universal Studios that is open late every day and is a much cheaper alternative to Disney and Universal. I just bought tickets and I plan to go, and I'll have some videos eventually of both Orlando area FunSpot parks. There's also one in Kissimmee, closer to Disney World. Out on the West Coast, things are finally improving as well, where vaccinations or a negative COVID test are strongly recommended for out-of-state guests, but are no longer required. Governor Newsom announced that California will be completely reopened on July 15th, and in yet another ride opening this week, things at California Adventure and their Avengers Campus have gone crazy. Web Slingers, a Spiderman adventure, has officially opened and is only available using a virtual queue, similar to that of Rise of the Resistance. I went over this last week as well before it opened, but just to reiterate that if you go to California or California Adventure, don't automatically expect that you'll get to ride the new Spider-Man ride or even get into the land. Also, virtual pickup times for the new food and beverage locations are filling up right around opening time. I really hope we get away from the mobile-only ordering. I hate planning what I want to eat hours before I have to eat. So tons of news this week, so I'm only going to include a couple of questions and answers so that this video isn't way too long. I can't find their name, but someone asked on Quora, how long would it take to ride all of Cedar Point's roller coasters, including all of the wait times? So I had fun, and since you can't view the wait times on the official app outside of the park, I went to qtimes.com, one of my favorite sites. It tells you the wait times at nearly every park in the world, except SeaWorld Orlando, who still doesn't have a working app or any way to monitor wait times. But that's for another day. As far as Cedar Point goes, I took the average queue times from Saturday and from Thursday to see if there would be a difference, as it's pretty busy every day at theme parks this year. Not including kiddie coasters that adults can't ride on their own. On this past Saturday, June 12th, if you queued for every ride at their median wait time, you would have waited 659 minutes, basically 11 hours. Unfortunately, the park was only open for 10 hours, and of course you have to walk from ride to ride. And I'm sure at least one or two rides will break down while you're in line. Plus, you got like an hour of actually riding the coasters. So on a Saturday, it's impossible. Just for reference, the longest average wait time was Steel Vengeance at 89 minutes, and the shortest was Wicked Twister at 14. Since they're not open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays right now due to staffing issues, I chose Thursday for the theoretically slow day. As I assumed, it was still busy on June 10th with a total average queue time of 564 minutes, still over 9.5 hours, and the park was open for the same 10 hours. On Thursday, Steel Vengeance and Top Thrill Dragster each had average wait times of 74 minutes, while Wicked Twister and Magnum only averaged 8. This was way too much fun for me, so you may see me do more of this from time to time. Interesting to see that it's literally currently impossible to ride everything at Cedar Point in a day. Also, just for your information, Thursday saw Top Thrill top out at 150 minutes, and on Saturday, Steel Vengeance also hit the 2.5 hour mark. I'll leave a link for qtimes.com in the description. They have everything from wait times to ebbs and flows throughout the day for each ride, as well as park hours and predictions of how busy each day will be. I visit the site nearly every day and use it for a lot of information. Alexa from Ohio says she's thinking about starting a channel of her own and wants some tips. Obviously, I'm still new at this, but I have a couple of tips for anyone starting out. Number one is patience. Your first few videos won't be as good as you think they will be. Sometimes with simple mistakes like holding the camera in portrait mode instead of sideways in landscape mode. Number two is come up with an extensive list of video ideas before you start, even if it's too much, and try to figure out a schedule of when you can shoot and edit and release them. Another tip is to start with free or cheap video editing software on your phone, especially if you don't have experience with editing. Sure, the PC version of Power Director has a lot more power and a lot more options, but it is not made to be user-friendly like the phone app is. Also, and I can't emphasize this enough, don't do it if you aren't going to be really interested in what you're filming and researching. To get good at all at filming and editing, you'll have to be involved a lot with it. I'd say right now I average 10 to 20 hours per week working on the channel in some way. So it's definitely become my top hobby, and some of my others have been kind of pushed to the side, which I'm okay with, but be sure to be okay with that. Now that you're in the loop, make sure to share this with anybody you know who loves to travel or who likes to go to theme parks. Look, I still talk to people on a weekly basis that wish Disney would reopen from the pandemic. These people are so far out of the loop, but wouldn't be if they watched channels like mine and other theme park channels. So fill everyone in and don't keep the information for yourself. More Cedar Point is coming this week, as well as an update inside Universal Studios Florida. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you know when those come up. But for now, thanks for watching Corbin's Coasters and More.